The return of VeChain. That is exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. It is going to be a VeChain VET and VTHO or VTHO specific video. There was a pretty big announcement for the native assets of VeChain yesterday in regards to them getting listed on Coinbase. That's probably where we're going to start. But the theme of this video is going to be the return of VeChain. And VeChain never really went anywhere. In fact, VeChain throughout the current market or the bear market has actually been going from strength to strength as a project. It's been continuing to onboard enterprises and expand their ecosystem and capabilities. And we're going to be looking at a little bit of that in this video. We're also going to be doing a bit of a recap into VeChain. Now, VeChain was a project that did pretty damn well for us back in the bull market, obviously following March 2020 onwards. It went from actually not that much, probably about half of what the price is today, all the way up to I think it was just under 30 cents. And it did pretty damn well, but it kind of finished its bull market in a lot earlier than perhaps the others did, and it lost quite a bit of momentum. And throughout that entire time period, throughout that entire bull market, it wasn't actually listed on Coinbase. But yesterday, and today's it's officially on Coinbase, but yesterday, Coinbase announced that they were going to list VeChain. And it is a very interesting project solving a multi-trillion-dollar issue in the form of counterfeits. And we'll get into all of that. So VeChain never really went anywhere. Of course, yesterday you had a pretty colossal announcement that we covered on our website. We've created a website called Allincrypto.com to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space. And VeChain, of course, their native tokens VET and VTHO got listed on Coinbase. And you can come down here and see this was the official announcement from Coinbase. Coinbase will add support for VeChain's VET and VTHO's VTHO on the VeChain network. Do not send this asset over other networks or your funds may be lost. Transfers for this asset are available on Coinbase and Coinbase Exchange in the regions where trading is supported. So I do believe that actually went live. I think now, providing that liquidity was met, that's the only conditions for it going live. And you can now trade VET and VTHO on Coinbase. This is from the VeChain's official Twitter account. Great to hear that our native asset VET and VTHO will soon be tradable on the world's only public listed crypto exchange, Coinbase, boasting 100 million users globally, as well as offering a secure and trusted custodian for both institutions and individuals. This listing makes accessing and building infrastructure on VeChain much more streamlined for our many professional partners. There is more to come from this unfolding development, and we greatly look forward to kicking off future phases with Coinbase team. So this is huge. Of course, you did get a reaction in the VeChain price. I think on the actual day, you had a nearly 14% candle for VeChain for the VET token, and nearly a 40+% candle for to the upside VTHO. Now, a little bit about what's the difference between the VET token and the VTHO token. Well, VET is for the kind of supply chain side of things, and the VTHO token, VETHO, is for kind of smart contracts, which is another level of capabilities that the VeChain network actually added. They didn't initially start off as a smart contract blockchain, but they do now have those capabilities, and the VTHO token is what powers them. It's essentially the gas fee in an Ethereum equivalent. So this is huge news. Of course, it opens a massive pool of liquidity. I actually do happen to think that VeChain is going to do pretty well again in the bull market that's to come, because they are a real project that's solving a real world issue. There are lots of projects out there in the crypto space that don't actually have any kind of a use case other than to be speculated on in the hope of a return. Whereas VeChain is solving an industry that we're about to dive into now that is estimated at over $3 trillion And that's just what we know about, and just in the counterfeit goods section, let alone all the other areas that they can be applied to, like healthcare and other things. So let's do a little bit of a recapping. We will go over the VeChain price and look at VeChain VTHO. Now, I'm tempted to be a buyer here. We haven't bought the VeChain or really any cryptos since the start of the year. We haven't bought VeChain at all this year, but it may be something that we look to do, certainly as it is at a real low point here. We're seeing a lot of confluence. You know, we were very early on calling the bull for the stock market this year. Bitcoin, of course, we've been right on. Altcoins are taking a little bit longer to kind of warm up, but they will get there, and they're all in a very interesting potential stage one, moving into a stage two, which Bitcoin and stocks are already in, kind of scenario. Now, if you want to learn about stage analysis, please do consider becoming a Patreon. We do teach that in there. But let's start off with a little bit of a recap about what VeChain is. So VeChain predominantly is a supply chain blockchain. It's there to help supply chains. Okay, it's there to basically make the whole process of supply chains efficient using blockchain. Now, blockchain is solving so many areas of the world that need innovating. You know, finance is obviously a massive one. Supply chains is an absolutely huge one, and a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So you can see here, these are some of the areas that VeChain actually solves. You've got food safety, track and trace, a blockchain-enabled food traceability platform that provides the food and beverage industry with various traceability functions that are readily deployable, including product provenance and quality certification, etc. It creates a brand new customer interaction that allows food and beverage companies, let's just go back there, to communicate and build brand awareness in a trustworthy environment. Moving on, they have sustainability track and trace, SaaS, a lightweight and rapidly deployable sustainable traceability application that allows brands to record all their sustainable footprint through their supply chain, including but not limited to the usage of recycling raw material, green production processing, green packaging and logistics, product carbon footprint, etc. The blockchain technology provides a solution that makes sustainability, transparency, and trustability. Let's just pause on that for a second, because it's a green agenda. This global green agenda is massive, and actually VeChain may help to facilitate that. We'll move on to the size of this industry in just a second, but these are just some areas that we really want to highlight. Moving on, you have general supply chain and track and trace, SaaS. We won't really go into all of these. This is enterprise grade sort of stuff. And then sustainable and carbon management solutions. It's all exceptionally interesting. To date, this is what I mean about despite the bear market, VeChain have essentially just been continuing to excel. They have over 300 enterprise partnerships, over 3,000 enterprise users, and their on-chain transactions are over 100 million plus. And on-chain SK uses 5,000 plus. You can see, and we'll leave a link to all this in the description. We are going to do a full project review on pretty much every cryptocurrency that there is over at allincrypto.com. So do come over and bookmark our website. But VeChain is a pretty amazing project that I think all of a sudden is going to become a very hot topic. And I think Coinbase listing VeChain, it doesn't affect the underlying project, but what it does is it gives a huge amount of, it gives it access to a huge amount of buyers and potential participants. And once there's more spotlight sort of shone onto VeChain, we think it's going to do exceptionally well. Let's move on to the actual size of one of the industries that they're actually looking to combat. And that is in the counterfeit fashion industry. And how bad is the problem? So this is counterfeit fashion, clothing, essentially predominantly, and of course accessories. In terms of magnitude, the global counterfeit industry as a whole is estimated to be worth over $3 trillion annually. Fashion and luxury goods like clothing, shoes, and leather items happen to be some of the most counterfeited products across all industries. Brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors, Adidas, Nike, and Levi's are some of the worst affected by this international plague. I believe, and I may have this wrong, that actually VeChain are partnered with Louis Vuitton. That's a partnership that I remember from the prior bull market that was really sort of touted. And another industry that is I'm very familiar with, I have a background in dentistry, is of course the healthcare industry. And actually, we do a lot of record keeping. We do a lot of customer care and care over sort of customers' data. It's something that we're legislated to do. And actually, blockchain completely revolutionized the record keeping industry and also the supply chain industry from our sort of suppliers of whatever materials it may be, whether it be amalgam, whatever it may be. VeChain has introduced blockchain-based healthcare data management platforms at a Cyprus hospital. So this is really interesting. Northern American blockchain technologies in healthcare market size by application. By 2026, you're really expected to see a real kind of growth in this industry. And I think VeChain could play a real significant part in that. So VeChain as a project has a huge thumbs up from us. We will reach out to some of the VeChain builders and see if we can get them on the show for interviews. I think it'd be very interesting to explore this project a little bit more with you guys. We really just wanted to reintroduce VeChain. Like I say, it was a project that did very, very well for us here. And then we kind of lost interest in it. As if you look at compared to most cryptocurrencies, using Bitcoin as a great example, they often went on and, we can chuck, let's do Solana just to pee everyone off. They extended their bull market, whereas VeChain topped out when Bitcoin kind of topped out initially in May. However, I do think that where VeChain's at right now is certainly an interesting price. You are seeing historically low volatility, which is typically what you see at the end of let's go ahead and put this chart on log to make it. Let's go ahead and put this chart on log to make it a little bit more clear. You typically see, if we use Ethereum as an example, where is Ethereum? Very low volatility just before you get a move at a kind of bear market lows. You end up with very low volatility, and you are at a real low point for most altcoins in regards to volatility. VeChain particularly. So this might be an area of interest to us. You've also got a divergence on your RSI, a bullish divergence. RSI is going up, whilst, of course, the price action is still somewhat continuing to go down. So it's very interesting where VeChain's at. For me, personally, if you wanted to be safe, you'd want to look for a break here, and then you'd be sort of looking to get out of this range. You're forming a little bit of a base here. You're really sort of putting in lows. I'd really maybe wait for something like this in a stage 2 breakout. You do something like that. You put in a bit of a double bottom here. I'd probably give you targets up here. You reject off it, and then you kind of come full circle. Back to all-time highs for VeChain would be 1,630%. And of course, on the Coinbase news, it jumped around about 14%. If we drop down to the daily candle, you have this candle here. The real winner, of course, though, was VETHO, which is of interest to me. It looks very similar. Again, it's kind of coming into what could be deemed a base. It's forming a support. It's got clear resistance above it. However, this could be a real performer. This would be a hell of a lot more of a speculative play. But this did, I think, 40% yesterday. If we take the top of the entire candle, which is extremely impressive and maybe could provide an investment opportunity. However, it'd be a very risky one, because just like you can get 40% swings to the upside in that order of time, you can get them to the downside. So not something we'd put a lot of money into. But VeChain is certainly interesting. It's back on our radar. If you guys want us to cover it more on this channel, let us know. We will do. Certainly a very interesting project with a real market fit, solving a multi-trillion-dollar industry just in fashion alone, let alone food and drinks, all the other sectors that it could embed itself in. One to watch. On that note, we're going to love and leave you. If you've enjoyed this content, a like is appreciated. So is a comment. Don't forget to check out our Patreon, check the website out, and of course, come and follow me over on Twitter. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.